Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. This is Sterikson from XDA Android Developers. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the new project that myself, Castro, and Raiku has been working on for I guess the past week and a half. The code name for this project is going to be Metamorphosis. And the main object of this project is to be able to pretty much theme phones without having to do update.zips, but that is not the full extent of it. It also goes a little bit further using this new method that we have, I guess you want to say, pioneered. We can now create themes specifically for battery packs, such as if you're using my lock screen. You can create status bar icon packs. You can create, pretty much any kind of standalone image pack that you want to make, and it won't affect any other part of a theme. So it is extremely useful, in my opinion. I am going to be uploading with this script four other packs. One's going to be a full theme courtesy of Prash, and I really thank him. He has been with us from the beginning, helping us out, giving us the images that we could test this with. I'm going to have a lock screen by themed by Man Up, and it's just a lock screen that I made in association with JDWME. We're also going to have a battery pack that Ted came up with, and we are also going to have, let's see if I can remember, a clock that Ted actually designed. Now the clock, as of right now, it force closes when you go into it. I know there's a fix out there for that, but quite honestly, I haven't delved into it deep enough to try and fix that. I'm just trying to demonstrate how these work. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead into it. I'm going to show y'all how to work with these. I'm going to show y'all how to make the new updates, and teach y'all about the theme control files, and give y'all a little bit of a tour of how it works and the history behind making it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and open up a theme. A theme is basically a zipped file, just like a regular update.zip. However, it does not contain a meta INF folder like a regular zip does. Let me see if I can find an example. Let's take a look at this alarm clock.apk. See here in this update we have a meta-inf folder. We also have the resource.arc, classes.dex, and the Android manifest.xml. All of those are not going to be present in this unless you absolutely wanted them to be, which really isn't necessary. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Let's go ahead and take a look first at the full theme provided by Prash. I'm going to go ahead and use 7-zip. I prefer that. First thing you're going to see is it looks striking similar to a regular update.zip in the framework folder. This folder, or inside of this zip, you're going to have the directory of the themable items. In this case, we have phone, launcher, contacts, alarm clock, and framework-res. You're going to see two other files, .nomedia, which will keep the gallery application from picking up all your image files from your themes. It's very important because it's quite a nuisance to go into your gallery and see tons of pictures there from your phone. This is actually a courtesy from Raiku. He actually pulled up the idea off the web, I believe, and we threw it in there because it just plain works. Next thing we're going to look at is the tree theme.theme. Now, if you will actually take a look, I have this incorrect. The theme file, the .theme file, has to be named exactly as the actual theme folder, or .zip. So this should be prash.theme, since it's prash.theme up there if you see my address bar. Okay, so we have that done. Let's take a look at it. Quite frankly, this is pretty simple. You're going to have the ROM name, CM, This for Cyanogen mod. You can basically put any name you want there. I could put dog crap if I wanted to, or dog, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you have a space after the colon and then your ROM name. If you don't, it'll throw an error. The script will actually throw an error. Right now it won't throw an error, but it will in the future, so your themers will get a nice big fat error saying, ROM's invalid, theme's invalid, try again. ROM version. Right now, this would be the version of the ROM that this theme works with. Currently, right now, this isn't being used. However, it will be used in the future, so keep that in mind. Particularly, the only thing you need to keep in mind is ROM name. If the script detects that the ROM name has changed, such as you have an existing theme on your phone that is CM, and then you're trying to flash one that is CM1, it will detect that. It will give the end user two options, either to override it or to cancel and rename the theme and update the theme file accordingly. Let's see. Next thing we're going to notice is the actual applications that we're going to be targeting. It's very, very, very important that you realize that these must be named exactly as they appear in the phone, on the phone. For instance, I'm talking about the capitalization, the spelling, everything. For instance, you see here that framework doesn't start with a capitalization while all the rest do. That's because on the phone it doesn't have a capitalization, so we don't have a capitalization here. If you spell this wrong, it will throw another error and your theme won't work. Launch.apk, phone.apk, context.apk, and alarmclock.apk are also all spelled exactly as it is on the phone. You see here there's a capital C on clock. That's because that's the way it is on the phone. You also need the APK, the .apk extension that is there. Right here is going to be the actual version of each individual theme. Currently, right now, this is also not being used, but it is planned on being used in the future. Right here, we're going to see the actual path for where we're going to target the theme. For instance, framework-res.apk is located in system/framework/. Launcher.apk is located in system/app/. If y'all want me to start calling those forward slashes and start being nitpicky about it, I will. Alright, moving on. That's pretty simple. It's not real hard. Just make sure you keep to those simple rules. Remember, these must be absolutely the same spelling, capitalization, everything as it is on the phone, or else it won't work. You'll get an invalid theme. This must be the exact path of what we're targeting, or else it won't work, and you'll actually end up you'll eventually end up with an error, but right now in the alpha stage you'll probably end up just filling up your end user's phone with a bunch of useless junk, in which will have them doing a wipe. That's why I would actually recommend everyone doing an Android backup before messing with this or attempting to use it. This is an alpha release. We do expect bugs. It is not meant to be perfect. It's always fun to try things when they're first coming out, so we're letting y'all have that chance. Okay, moving on. I think we've discussed that enough. Let's go ahead and check out phone. In here, basically it's the same thing that you would see in the phone.apk. We have the res folder, then we have the drawable finger, and drawable land. The path must stay exactly the same. If the path is not the same, then the script will put it in a different place. Meaning, if you had all of these images right here, then when we go to theme the phone, all the images would go right here in the phone, right in the root directory. That would not be good. So, it's pretty standard. Like I said, I've provided you, in association with some other themers, Prash, Raikou, Ted, and ManUp, we've provided you with some examples to follow. They're good examples. They have everything correct. The only thing that's not correct is going to be that clock. theme, and that, like I said, that has nothing to do with the actual theming process. That's actually just some XML edit that hasn't been done yet. So, moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at another theme, just to give you an example. Let's go ahead and take a look at a battery theme. This will, if you have my lock screen, then you know that you have a battery icon with a percentage, which I love personally. I use it all the time. The batteries.theme, you notice it's named the same as the actual theme. Up here you can see it's batteries.zip and it's batteries.theme. It's basically ROM name. This right here demonstrates that you can name it whatever you want. A with Erickson's lock screen. And same thing with ROM version, name it whatever you want. This is the same, framework-res.apk. You know, the version number of that is still going to be the same, and so is the path. It's pretty easy. It's not too difficult. Not right now anyways. We'll make it difficult for y'all later. Moving on, in here, like I said, you got to keep the structure the same, so we're always going to go res and then drawables or layout, however you want to do it. So you see in here that we just have the battery icons, and it will update only those battery icons and won't touch anything else. So let's take a look at one other thing before we move on to the actual script. Let's go to TED clock. Now this one's a little bit unusual because I didn't feel like sorting out, which XML edit controlled the bigger clock. I just threw them all in there. Kind of, dirty, but it works. So we see in here in RES, I have everything. I have layout, I have all the XMLs that go with it, I have all the drawables. This is actually almost completely unnecessary. In reality, you would only need to update the images that you wanted to update, and in this case, the XMLs that actually contain that layout. But like I said, I didn't want to, fool with it, and I also wanted to demonstrate how basically you could update an entire APK with this method if you so wanted to. Of course, right here we still don't have the Android manifest and the resources.arsc and the classes.dex, but you could put them there if you wanted to. Okay, moving on. I think that pretty much covered it, so what we're going to go ahead and do is go in here, and I'm going to explain a few things about this. First thing I'm going to do is actually repush all of these zips to SD card / Android themes. This is going to be the default folder for all your themes. Now the script will automatically create this theme directory. However, if the user does not put the themes in this theme directory, then as of right now it will not pick it up. It won't find it. In the future we will have the ability to point the script to wherever we want in order for it to find a theme, but as of right now that is not an option. That will come later. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You see, I've been playing with this for a little while, so I have everything already done. Okay, I also want to go ahead and, we'll go ahead and take our first look at the script. The script is actually going to be kept in another folder, and I'm going to do this all from my computer because I can show y'all, but this can actually be done all from the phone without having to do anything at all on the computer. The user can totally theme the phone without almost without rebooting the phone. If you make changes to framework-res.apk, then you will have to reboot the phone. So that's the only drawback on that. When you first extract the script and the cross-compiled zip, which is a courtesy of Castro. Castro did the cross-compiled zip, and I am very grateful for his work on that and his work pretty much on the script. He made a big contribution to this project, and I really thank him for it and thank him for his time. Learned a lot from him. So let's go ahead and go to that directory. It's going to be cd. The directory is going to be system/sd/theming. Now, we may have to change this in the future because I realize more than likely everybody won't have an SD directory, only if they have apps to SD. But for right now, we kind of require that you have an apps to SD card directory. Y'all know what I mean, and even though I'm messing it up. So that's how it's going to be right now. Just keep that in mind. This is a very alpha release. This is strictly for testing. Don't try to rely on this for any kind of strong stability. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. You would put everything in here in the zip, which is going to be a zip, cross-compiled zip binary, again done by Castro, and the actual script, which was worked on by Castro and myself, and optimization was done by Raikou. We greatly do appreciate that help, Raikou. So we're going to go ahead and run that script. We're going to do mm.sh. I'm not going to put any arguments in after first. I'm going to show y'all the usage. That's what it's going to pull up. This is MetaMorph, or Metamorphosis. So, special thanks to Raikou and Prash because he was one of the first ones to come on board and start helping us with the theming, and we really appreciate it. You see here that it says specifically what I've already told you, to place the theme file.zip in the SD card/Android themes. The script will scan this location and run. The usage for now is only -I. There will be more options later. If you get bold, you can actually look in the script and see some of the options that we plan on implementing later. But this time they are not being used. They are not working in any way, shape, or form. So they're completely useless to show to you and have you try and just to find out that they don't work. So we're going to go ahead and run it again with the correct argument. I for interactive. It's going to go ahead and start again. The first thing we're going to see is we have two options. We can apply a full theme to all files, meaning that it's going to update everything in the update.zip. Or we can only pick one. Right now we're only going to go ahead and pick one, and I also am going to show y'all what my phone looks like right now so y'all can get an idea of what's going on here. Give me just a moment for that to come up. I want to show y'all how this works. Alright, there we go. Okay, right now that is how my phone looks. That is the lock screen. You see it's somewhat, the bottom bar is somewhat messed up. Yeah, that probably needs some tweaking, but let me go ahead and refresh this. You can see my lock screen right here. This is part of Prash's. You see that I have Prash's launcher tab, but I do not have his lock screen, and that is because Prash actually doesn't have a lock screen. He doesn't use my lock screen. So it is neat to see that. A moment. It's neat to see that I have a lock screen that is completely different from Prash's theme. Just something to kind of lean towards showing how we can mix and match themes with ease using this method. So, one of the first things I want to show you, like I said again, is that, completely different. I'm going to show you right here. One moment. This is actually from Ted's, the clock theme pack that I am including. The only drawback with this is that when you try to open, alarm clock, it force closes. Like I said, someone have to fix that. It's not the script's fault. It's just some XML edits. So with that in mind, let's take a look at one more thing. See the battery here, how it's completely black? The first thing that I'm going to show y'all is that I am going to change that without affecting anything else. So let's go ahead and get to that. Alright, so we are going to apply in this case we could do either or, one or the other. So we'll just do number 2. Okay. These are all the themes that I have in my theme directory. There aren't that many themes. You see a bunch of them are actually empty. Number 1 is like from when we first started. Number 16 is actually one of the final results. We're going to actually do number 20, which is the, we're going to do 18, which is actually going to be the full lock screen update. So, I'm sorry, I said 18, we're going to do 19. Okay, basically what happened here is that it seen that there was something wrong with the MD5 checksum file. Basically, whenever you put a new theme on here, it will scan it to make sure that nothing has changed. If something has changed, then it will re-update the theme on the phone. This is try to help with optimization and speeding things up. So let's go ahead, and we see here it's already extracted all the necessary updates. It's done creating the MD5 sum file. It is listing in the theme what we are about to apply, and we see that we're about to apply an update to framework-res.apk, so we know we're going to have to do a reboot. We're going to go ahead and select one, which is the only one there, and it's going to tell us a little bit more information about it. It's going to tell us the name of the theme file, the app name that we're about to target, and the location of it, and the version number. At this point, you're going to have the choice to either begin or to hit Ball plus C, or that's Control C if you're on a computer like I am, to exit. In this case, we're going to go ahead and hit Enter. It's going to start applying the sub theme. It's going to take just a moment. Now, if this is working correctly, you should see updating. If you see a whole bunch of adding, something is wrong. Stop it. You'll probably need to clear out your phone because it's putting it in the wrong place most likely. Alright, so we have gone ahead and done that. Now, mind you, what I said with updating framework-res.apk, we actually need to do a reboot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And we're going to wait for that. So give it just a moment. And I appreciate you guys watching this. I know it's a rather long video. I myself, I generally don't like making long videos, or generally videos for that point at all. So consider yourselves lucky. And we'll give it just a moment to reboot. It's taking a little while. You see, that was what it looked like, solid black.